Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing my November reading wrap up, and I am actually really shocked. I didn't realize how many I read until I went through my list to see, and I read way more books than I thought I did. I read 16 books during the month of November. That is crazy to me. I did do some readathons, and so that probably has a lot to do with it. And not all of them are big books, so you can get through them faster. But anyway, so I'm going to get right into it and show you what I read. Also, I'm not going to go into great detail because there are 16 books, and I don't want this to be like an hour-long video. So I'm just going to quickly tell you maybe a little bit about it. The ones that I rated lower, I probably won't go into at all because I don't want to go into all the reasons I did not like a book, because I just feel bad, because I know that regardless, the author did work hard on the books that they wrote, and so I feel bad to like run them down. But I do want to be honest when I don't like a book. So anyways, we're going to get right into it. So I didn't read a lot of books that were sent to me for review in November, which is actually kind of bad, but sometimes I just go through time periods where I just want to read what I want to read. However, I did read 5 books that were sent to me for review specifically. So the first one is actually an ebook, so I don't have a physical copy to show you, but I'll try to find the picture and post up here. But that book is called The Top Secret Diary of Davina Dupree, and that is by S.K. Sheridan. So this book, it's like actually it's a children's book or a middle grade book. And I gave that one 3 stars, mainly because that is something like when my daughter was young, it's probably a book that she would have liked. She used to like to read like Dork Diaries and things like that. And it kind of reminded me of that a little bit. So I could see her liking it when she was younger. However, I am not young, so it was a little harder for me to it's definitely not a book that people of all ages would necessarily enjoy. It is strictly children to middle grade, but it was okay. The second book that I'm going to talk about is Mind Girl, and honestly, I say I'm going to talk about, but I'm not going to talk about it. It was a really big book. I did only give this one 2.5 stars. I just really didn't enjoy it. It's supposed to be about this alien, actually, Ava, who on their planet, there's like a game. It says, Ava believes Earth is just a game in a certain frequency of consciousness. No big deal. You make your human replica play, or you make them and you play with them. She realizes later on basically that is not the fact. And I don't know. I didn't enjoy it. I didn't enjoy the story. It just didn't get there for me. So I only gave it 2.5 stars. I don't really want to talk about any more of it. So that was Mind Girl by Wendy Goldstein Davis. So another book that was sent to me for review, Queen of the Flowers. This one I also only gave 2.5 stars. This book is by Delia Serpa, I believe. But this, okay, so it says it's memories of a Puerto Rican girl. And this is where I struggle. It's her actual memories. So it's hard to, it's not that I don't appreciate this person's life. I just didn't enjoy the writing. It was difficult for me to read. I just didn't enjoy it. And I think that it's supposed to be kind of like a middle grade type of deal, but it had some really difficult, it talked about her dad committing suicide, like swinging from a tree. I don't know. It wasn't there for me either. So that was that one. Then the last 2 that I read that are for review, or were for review, it's actually a set. Oh, yeah, here's the problem too. So it's Daughter of Magic and Wizard Girl. Once again, I'm forgetting which one is which. Okay, so it started with Daughter of Magic. The problem is I picked up Wizard Girl first because for some reason I thought this was the first one. So I started reading it. A few chapters in, I realized, hey, I'm missing something, and realized that this was book 2. So then I put it down. I went back to Daughter of Magic and started reading it. But the problem is I had kind of ruined myself, like spoiled some things for myself by starting this one first. So that was unfortunate. But I did give both of these books 3.5 stars. They were pretty good. The author is Karen Eisenbray. I'm so bad with names. But anyways, they were decent books. They weren't like, oh my goodness, I love them so much, I have to read them again. There's not that kind of book. I'll probably donate them just because they weren't completely my thing. But they were good for what they were. And honestly, if I had read them in the correct order to begin with, I probably would have liked them better. But my fault. Can't turn back time. So anyways, okay. Also, I read Rebel Belle. Now, this was one of the books that I read from my TBR jar that I had struggled for a long time not wanting to pick this book up. It was in my jar. I drew it. And once again, the jar came through for me because it ended up being really good. I really enjoyed it. I gave it 3.5 stars, which sounds like not a lot, but it wasn't exactly a 4-star. So I'm just going to go with 3.5, but it was actually really good. The frustrating thing is that it is a part of a series and I thought it was a standalone. So once again, it's one of those things where I didn't absolutely adore the book, but I am going to want to pick up the second one because I need to know what happens next. So, and let's see, it's called the second one is Miss Mayhem, whatever. So I'm going to have to get that. But Rebel Belle, 3.5 stars, that was pretty good. I also read, okay, so for a readathon that I was doing, that was the, what's it called? The Buzzwordathon. And you have to read books where there was a number on the cover, in the title, whatever. So I did read, I believe, 4 books for that one. Yeah, I read 4 books for that one. Okay, so for that readathon, I started with 3 Black Swans by Caroline B. Cooney. Now, when I was younger, I read The Face on the Milk Carton, and I really, really loved it. And so I thought that I would probably really love this one, and it sounded great. However, I hated it. I gave it 2 stars. That's the lowest rating that I've done in a really long time. I hated it. It was so stupid, and I'm not going to go into it because it's not worth my time. In one of my reading vlogs, I talked about how stupid it was. I talked about everything, and it makes me wonder, at the age I am now, if I reread The Face on the Milk Carton, would I like it still, or would I realize that it was stupid as well, and maybe I just liked it because I was a kid? I don't know. I think I don't want to ruin it for myself, so I'm probably not going to reread it, but this was dumb. 2 stars. I will be donating this one as well because I just really didn't like it. Okay, so the next book that I had read for the Buzzword Readathon was 3 Willows. It is a Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants type of book. It says the sisterhood grows. It actually had almost nothing to do with the previous girls, but like once in a while they would bring someone in that was like a little cameo of them or whatever. It was pretty good. I gave this one 3.5 stars. And then I read a book. It was an audiobook. So if I find the picture, I'll stick it up here for you. But it is called The Chosen One. That one was pretty good. I gave it 3 stars. It was unlike anything I've ever read, to be perfectly honest. It was about a girl in a polygamous community. I believe she was 13, either 13 or 14. And she was informed that she was chosen to marry her like 60-year-old uncle, and it's about her trying to get away and like some abuse that takes place and stuff like that. So it ended up being really good. Like I couldn't hardly stop listening. When there were times of the day that I had to do other things. It was one of those books where I was like, oh, it's frustrating that I have to put this down right now. So thankfully it was an audiobook, so majority of the time I could like do what I needed to do while listening. It ended up being pretty good, and I don't remember the author's name, but you'll see it when I put the book cover up. So, and then the last book that I read for that readathon is Twice Loved. I literally ran to the used bookstore to find a book with a number in it, because you would think that that would be an easy buzzword to find in books, but I was struggling because I was thinking, oh, I've got so many books in my TBR, not going to be a problem. And I actually didn't have that many with a number on the cover. So, and I was running out of time, so I got this skinny little book. It's a Christmas book called Twice Loved. This one I gave 3.5 stars as well. It just seemed like a little Christmas movie type of thing. It was perfect and cozy and very, very predictable, but it was nice. I enjoyed it. Also, I read You Will Be Mine by Natasha Preston. I bought this one because I actually picked up The Cellar at the used bookstore one day for like $1. Really enjoyed that. It reminded me of an episode of Criminal Minds. So I thought I'm going to love all her books. I picked up You Will Be Mine. I gave it 3 stars. It was just simply okay. Some of the stuff was very unbelievable. It was not anywhere near as good as The Cellar to me, but it was okay. I'll keep the book just because I now have like 1, 2, 3, like 4 of her books maybe. I don't know. But anyways, it was decent. I read Everything. This is one of my TBR jar picks as well. And I said it in one of my vlogs, but I'll say it again. I do not know how I missed all the spoilers. Like, I literally knew nothing about this book other than a girl who's like allergic to everything type of situation and couldn't leave her house. Did not realize the twist that came. I don't know how I missed it for so long, but I did. I ended up really liking this book. I gave it 4 stars. Definitely keeping it. I read The Truth About Forever, which I'm pretty sure was also a TBR jar pick. This one, I also gave 4 stars. I ended up really liking it. I think it might be my first Sarah Dessen book that I've ever read, and I really enjoyed it. It was pretty good. So, 4 stars. Now, here we go about some other books. So, I picked up Undertow at the library bookstore. This one I loved. I loved it. It was unexpected. Don't really know what I was expecting other than I was not expecting what this was. I gave it 4 stars. Really, really, really super enjoyed it. Liked it so much. As soon as I finished reading it, I went on Amazon and ordered the next 2, which is, let's see, which one was 2? Raging Sea and then Heart of the Storm. So I picked up Raging Sea, read it, and absolutely, like, it is filled with sticky notes of things that I loved about this book. Absolutely loved it. I gave it, I actually gave it 4 stars. I think I liked it more than this one, but I had already given this one 4 stars. Maybe this one's like a 4.5, but on Goodreads, I did just put, no, I'm sorry, I gave Undertow 4 stars. Raging Sea, I actually liked more than Undertow, but I think it was just the unexpectedness of Undertow that I gave it 4 stars. This one is like 4 or 4.5 stars. I really loved it. I loved like the different little quotes that the character said. Like, I thought it was hilarious, unexpected, so good. Then, so excited, I picked up Heart of the Storm, and I really just did not like it anywhere near as much. It ended stupid. It almost felt like, okay, these are all like sci-fi, fantasy type books. So, of course, they're not realistic. But when I say things happen in this that were just completely unrealistic, unbelievable, it was like even knowing that the whole thing is unbelievable, unrealistic, whatever, to me, this was just like, it was like, okay, come on, they would not do that, or they would not say that. That is not how that would happen. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. And then the ending was just so anticlimactic. It was just, it fell flat for me. It was a disappointment. Yeah. So those are all the books that I read in the month of November. 16 books, right? Is that what I said, 16? I feel like I'm skipping something, but I guess not. I had a really good reading month, and I'm hoping that December ends up being just as good. But, I mean, you never know, because days are predictable in this month. So, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this reading wrap-up, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.